Hakuro, or Hakuro, not Haruko. So yeah, if you have copies of like the original Adult Swim run of the show, and I don't know if they still run the show or not, and if they still run those same copies, but if they do, maybe you can still hear it, along with any of the other little errors that they had in the first run of the show. But yeah, he calls him General Haruko, which is kind of a girly name. Alright, so now it's the Flame versus Full Metal, for those of you referencing the show. This is episode 13 of the show, I think a huge fan favorite. My daughter, who turned 3 this year, isn't she adorable? I know all my friends that watch the show, this was their favorite episode, and, well, this and Warehouse 13. Everybody loves the military episodes. Okay, I don't know if you could hear that, I actually paused for a second, but in the first playthrough, they kept, that Mustang's little face he makes there with the sweat drop sign. I guess they didn't have Travis Willingham record a react for that. They may have forgotten because it's just an ellipsis, so they didn't think of it as a... They didn't know what they were recording, so they didn't do it. But they included, I forgot the seiyu's name. I'm so bad, I'm sorry, it's hard to remember Japanese names. But the original seiyu for Mustang, they kept his react. And, that kind of nutty kind of thing. And, they kept his reaction, and that'd be fine, but he sounds nothing like Travis Willingham, so it's very noticeable. It's like, what? He had the Japanese voice in there for 2 seconds. Oh, so yeah. This is also very much like the show. The minute you start fighting, the minute it says fight, I didn't press a button to make that fight screen go away. Mustang just immediately started attacking me. I don't even know there's a way to avoid that first attack, unless you know it's coming. And I was like, well, this is just like the show. In the show, he's like, Alchemist, get set, ready, fight! And he just tears ass out of there, and the minute he does, Ed was like, what? And Mustang goes too slow and blows up the entire arena. Yes. So, here I am trying to figure out how to beat him. As you might have noticed, I rushed at him a few times trying to kick him in the face, and that's not gonna work, and I was like, okay. So, he's using ranged attacks, maybe I have to use ranged attacks. Boom! Cannonball. And that worked! And then he immediately got up and snapped fire at me, so I was like, okay, so this is gonna be a hard fight, and I don't think I'm gonna make it on the first try. I did make it on the first try, but still, kinda difficult. I was like, shoot him! Nope, you can't shoot him through those flames. It's not gonna happen. You can't shoot him while he's powering up. There is exactly one... Boom. Yeah, there's exactly one opportunity you have to hit him, and that's right after he says, this is child's play, and poses before he's gonna start the next round of attacks. And, that's it, like, he dodged that. And I think he says something like, you fool! It's funny. It sounds very silly coming out of Travis. And, yeah, so this is kind of a fun little fight. Pardon my, I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was Southern or what. So what was I talking about earlier? I don't know. I mentioned that, yeah, this is kind of everybody's favorite little, fight. And I guess while I'm thinking of, I need to look up before I do the next part of Let's Play, which it will be a while before I do the next part, like a week or something. And, this is child's play. That was my signal to shoot him. There we go. Done. And, oh, sweet. So, apparently, you can now use Colonel Mustang's flame attack, and I wanted to use that in the next level, but the next level's not a fight level, it's a cute little mini-game, and then I didn't have time to, yeah, I was like, okay, this is long enough, this is 20 minutes, we gotta stop here, and I was like, shame, because I want to use Colonel Mustang's flames, I want to see Edward Elric using Roy Mustang's flames, this is gonna be amazing. Not so much, no. Not yet. Anyway, but I need to look up a list of the Adult Swim, not the changes, because that's kind of more like the edits that were made. I know that the last episode of FMA, despite being heavily gory, was aired pretty much uncut on Adult Swim, and there was a disclaimer before it. I remember saying, like, we're a bunch of salty monkeys, so we're just gonna air this regardless of the content that may or may not get us, you know, in trouble with people. Just let you know this is gory and it's a little bit too bloody to be aired this time slot. There was I need a notice. It goes, you know, but they couldn't edit it because it was so. I like to think that maybe the people at Adult Swim just liked the show. I don't know. Maybe they liked it enough that they were like, ah, screw it, we can't cut any of this out because it will completely destroy the pace and the and it's so integral to the story. It's not like there's gratuitous gore in FMA. So, well, when I say gratuitous, it's not like there's, you know, too much for the content of the story. And I thought I would get to fight Scar here, but alas, they skip over that, and they say, and then he went home to resemble. I'm like, oh, I wanted to fight Scar and get my arm blown up. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yes. So not so much the edits, but I need to look up a list of, like, the dub flubs that made it to Adult Swim's run, and I don't know if they're still on there. Because I remember off the top of my head just 2 or 3. I'm sure there were a couple. And stuff they changed, the line they changed. But one of them was General Haruko, which I thought was hysterical when I first saw it. And then I watched the DVD and I was like, ah, they changed it back to what it should be. I thought it was funny, but I guess I would be sad if they had actually left that flub on the DVD. Oh, that reminds me. So more and more, I don't know if it's the speed at which stuff is being put out, but I'm noticing like grammatical errors in English dubs, which I never used to see. I mean, never. I would see awkward phrasing all the time, like people talking in passive voice, like direct from subtitle stuff. But grammatical errors, and okay, people are like, oh, this is your Stephen Foster rant. People that listen to me on Twitter know there's a there's an ADR director named Stephen Foster that does this nonsense, this horsey nonsense, and he's put several like grammatical errors in his script and had the actor say him and just does not give a fuck, and they're still in there. And so that's happened several times. But no, I heard it recently in a Funimation dub, which I rather respect their dub work. But there was one, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna forgive this. And don't ask me to say what the line was, because I don't remember it, but it was in episode 25 or 26 of One Piece, and it's spoken by Sanji's mentor, the mustachioed cook with the huge hat. And, I can look up exactly what it was and put it in the comments later, but I remember hearing that and just being so sad. I was like, that's not grammatically correct! And I don't mean like colloquialism, like somebody speaking slang, I mean like... Okay, so as you're gonna see here, I actually did fail this minigame, which I guess that's better than failing... It's more pathetic, but it's better than failing the Mustang fight, I suppose, because then I'd have to redo all that, and beating the Mustang fight in the first round makes me look cool. Anyway. Say, no, nothing makes you look cool, shut up. Or keep talking, monkey, either way I'm supposed to be talking. Alright, but yeah, basically it's a touchscreen thing, which doesn't work real well on an emulator, but you have to drag these logs over to the spot. And I messed it up, so I get to do this thing twice. See, bonk, and he cries. That's Major Armstrong. He's kind of awesome. So I messed it up and had to do the whole thing again. Poor Armstrong is sad. But yes, for those of you still with me, I don't really hold it against, like, I think the One Piece dub is quite good. I don't really hold it against them for, you know, making one error or whatever, but it's like, it bothers me because it's like, if you can hear somebody saying it out loud, and you go, wow, that doesn't sound like something somebody would ever say, it must be because, you know, the grammar's fucked up, and nobody would actually ever say that. You know, then change it. It takes 2 seconds to go, oh, we'll change that to, you know, change that R to were, and you're good. You know, something like that. So, but yeah, with One Piece, one little error, whatever, that's fine. The Stephen Foster dubs are an entirely different thing, where there's like 12 of them, and I'm like, I have lost patience with you, sir. Proofread your damn script. Anyway, okay, so that's it. Now saving. Alright, awesome. Well, alright, better get this rendered out as soon as I can, and, yeah. I have nothing more to say. Sayonara, bye-bye, everybody.